and welcome everyone. This is Senior National Sales Director Emeritus, Connie Kittson, and I'm delighted to be able to spend some time with you today. Kristen asked me to share with you today because she's working hard to provide videos for the Czech Republic seminar this week. She was supposed to be a guest NSD speaker, but due to the COVID, she has to do it remotely through videos. At first, her husband was going to go, but then he couldn't go because of, what happened with COVID. And then I was going to get to go. And then I couldn't go either, as well as she couldn't, because he didn't want anybody from the United States into the Czech Republic. So she is working fast and furious to do this all remotely. And it is a lot of work because you have to create the content and then provide them with a script so that it can be translated. And then she comes up with these pictures to be able to show during the video. Otherwise, it would just be very, very boring to just have somebody talking. And then she has to record the video and hope that she does it, on take 1, take 2, or take 3. Is that it is hours and hours and hours of video that they've asked of her. So she's teaching a lot of different topics, so it really is an incredible amount of work. She is passionate about international and teaching them the Mary Kay way. She's putting her heart and soul into this project, and I know that the videos really will be great, and you just never know the difference and the impact that you will make in the lives of somebody else in another country. Well, speaking on the subject of the COVID, I want to address a couple situations that have been happening across our country during this pandemic concerning Mary Kay. I know that this is a new situation for us as a global pandemic, and it's been going on for so long. I mean, way longer than any of us ever expected it to. And I know that many of you are at your wits' end. I know I am. I said to my husband, I'm just a people person. This is making me just really, it's very, very difficult for me. It is. He loves it because he can do this. And some people are okay with it, but some of us aren't. And it's difficult. And some of you are experiencing some frustrations, and some are even running on a short fuse. And I understand that you want to get back to business as usual. Well, I don't think we're quite there yet. Every state is in a different place with outbreaks and regulations. Even the communities within states are different. Julie Kins lives in Battle Mountain, Nevada, and there's basically nothing going on there as far as COVID. Yet the state of Nevada, there is a lot going on, and there's a lot of shutdowns. So it's very different even within communities within states. And I know some of you are back to holding success meetings face-to-face. However, most of you are still doing Zoom meetings. And some of you are gathering together to watch our upcoming seminars, and some of you are not. And some of you are being very cautious with masks and social distancing and limiting your numbers, and others are not. But I'm going to ask you to give grace to one another and treat each other with respect and love during these trying times. Treat your sister directors with that go-give spirit of loving and caring. Just because someone has a different way of doing their business than you do does not make them wrong. It just is a difference of opinion. And believe it or not, we've had a lot of situations going on with this, and that's the only reason I'm bringing it up. Is it's not just randomly one here or there. It's really actually happening quite a bit. If an adoptee director has to limit the number of attendees at her event and can't invite your consultant, please understand. She is not being mean. She's just being safe. We're all doing our very, very best. So let's just work together during this difficult time and really try to support one another to do the very best of our abilities, okay? It's interesting. This is all over the world, and the company contacted me and asked me, well, actually, China contacted them And don't ask me how these people in other countries know about us, but I think they just watch a lot of videos that we have online and a lot of things that I've done with Kristen online with mother-daughter things, and they asked if I would speak to them about the Mary Kay culture because they knew I was trained by Mary Kay. And so I did a video last week for China. And also I did a Zoom call for my dear friend, NSD Elizabeth Oswa in the UK. And, you know, interesting enough, I'll share this with you for globally. The UK in the past has kind of struggled a tad bit with different general managers. That's what they call their president there. But, oh gosh, I think about 8 or 9 months ago, they got a new one, and she's fantastic. And in the last 5 months, the UK has exploded. In fact, it's been the most productive country in the world in the last 5 months. Praise God. And so she's just had a record-breaking year. And so I did a Zoom for her on Friday for her people. And it's just been wonderful. And I had the opportunity to meet her when I went to the UK. Gosh, I don't even know how long ago it was. I really don't. Don't you forget those things. But it was quite a while ago, and we've just become grand friends from then, and just we call ourselves sisters from another mister. And I've spent time with her, and she has spent time with me. So in our homes and a lot of time together. So I've been able to do that also. So I'm going to share a couple of what I did for China in hopes that it will impact you, and then what I did for the UK, and then I have something that I was going to share with you as well today. But the reason I share this is because sometimes the position of National Sales Director gives you a platform. It gives you a platform to speak from. And for me, this platform, especially for China, was well worth getting to give this talk. So basically, I'm just going to share pretty much what I shared with them, because it really was an honor to be able to speak to them about the culture of Mary Kay and really what they could achieve from this opportunity. I had a little introduction, and then I just said I joined this wonderful company in 1987 and had the opportunity to be trained by Mary Kay Ash. What I learned from our founder was priceless. She impacted my life in a way no other person has ever done. She taught me to have stronger faith by her example. She shared that everything seemed to work out if you have your life in proper perspective. God first, family second, and career third. I took that principle to heart, and I applied it to my life and my work. I truly believe that the growth of Mary Kay Cosmetics has come about because the first thing that Mary Kay did was to take God as her business partner. If she had not done that, I don't believe we would be where we are today as a company. I believe God has blessed us because our motivation is right. He knows she wanted women to become the beautiful beings he created and to use the wonderful God-given talents that lie within each of us. I found that when you just let go and place yourself in God's hands, everything in your life goes right. When you try to do everything alone and rely on yourself, you begin to make major errors. I encourage you to take God as your business partner. I also remember Mary Kay teaching at a leadership conference when I was a brand new director. She asked us to live by the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. She asked us to do it on a daily basis, in our every action, and even in our thoughts. Then our lives would take on new meaning, and so would the lives of those around us. When you make every decision based on the golden rule, putting yourself in the other person's shoes, and then trying to think how she would like to have her problem solved if you were in her shoes and she was in yours. She said she guaranteed that it worked. She said that you can never obtain riches until you begin to enrich the lives of others. All you send into the lives of others comes back into your own. If you give the very best you have in whatever you do, the best will come back to you. Mary Kay also taught me to have belief in myself. She had a way of holding your hands and looking into your eyes and saying with conviction, you can do it. I remember hearing Mary Kay speak at a seminar in 1991, and it felt like she was speaking directly to me and went right to my heart. She said this, and I say it to you. You truly are wonderful. And when God created you, He had a beautiful, special plan for your life. He knew that He had created within you the abilities and the talents that you needed to be a beautiful creature that He had destined you to be. He planted in you the seeds of greatness. You can be anything that you want to be. You can climb any mountain that you want to climb. You can reach any goal that you want to reach. It all lies within you. Believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. Look for the best qualities in yourself. Believe that you are becoming the best you that you can be. And remember that all human activity is prompted by desire. And desire will develop a sense of urgency in you to make your dreams a reality. So believe it, and you will achieve it. Mary Kay also showed me firsthand about how to treat people. She cared deeply about people, and she showed it in her words and her actions. She would stand in line for hours to shake your hand or get a picture with you. She would write cards and letters to consultants and directors when they lost a loved one or they were ill. I have so many wonderful stories about Mary Kay. Just know that she was compassionate and caring, tender yet tough, inspirational. She had a great sense of humor. She was smart, and she understood this business and women. She was a people person. Mary Kay Ash was also one of the business heroes of the 20th century. She often said, Mary Kay Cosmetics is not about profit and loss, but people and love. We're not really in the cosmetic business. We're in the people business. In the business of helping women change their lives and helping them to know how great they really are. Because I think this was God's intention when we started this company, was to help women. You know, one of the things that I've loved most about being a part of Mary Kay Cosmetics is the culture of our organization. Our founder built the culture of the golden rule and the Go Give spirit with honesty and integrity as the cornerstones. Mary Kay's belief in treating everyone with respect is the foundation of our culture, and today you'll experience that respect throughout Mary Kay. However, it's up to us to carry on Mary Kay's tradition. I like to refer to it as the Mary Kay way. That's the golden rule, the priority and balance in your life with God, family, and career, that caring and sharing, being people-focused and supportive of others, and that relationship based on make me feel important. You know, I'm even more convinced today that the culture that has grown up around this company is truly one of our greatest strengths. Mary Kay Ash is more respected today than almost any time in her lifetime because it's the culture that she worked her entire life to create. This culture is behind every success you and I enjoy today. This glue that holds us together is a result of the cornerstones that Mary Kay built and then etched into our hearts. Mary Kay ministers to the welfare of humankind. It lifts up lives around the world. It transcends languages, It breaks down barriers. This Mary Kay culture is one of people helping people. And that is never-ending, self-perpetuating mission. But how does a culture go from concept to reality? The answer is only by being embraced by others. And that is what happened, starting in the United States. And as time went by, this culture has been enriched by the expansion to other countries. We have embraced these principles around the world. The Mary Kay culture thrives all over the world. We must protect it, understand it, and love it. We rely on all of you to uphold the Mary Kay culture. Teach by example all the good that can come from it, because you are the most powerful voice that we have. I hope you will always speak loudly and for this Mary Kay culture. And I hope that you will live it and will always love it. Well, that's what I shared with China. And I am grateful for this platform as an NSD to share about God and Mary Kay's principle. You know, currently I support a Christian missionary in China, and it's a very, very difficult and dangerous situation for her right now in China. So, you know, I'm grateful that Mary Kay gives us a platform to speak from. But I will share this with you because I asked the question, and the International told me that 80% of the Mary Kay sales force in China is Christian. How exciting is that? We are making a difference, ladies, around the world. Well, that's my China talk, and I hope that it imparts to you, and I hope that you'll share somewhat of that with your unit members, because I think that's what separates us from everybody else. I want to share a little bit today about goal setting that yields results. My friend Elizabeth in the UK asked me to share with her area on that. And, you know, I'm assuming that you, as sales director, as well as her sales directors, teach goal setting using the acronym SMART, SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound for your consultants. So I'm not going in that direction. You guys teach goal setting. What I want to share with you are my thoughts about goal setting and what I believe will give you the biggest reward for your efforts. You know, when I joined this company in 1987, I was trained by Mary Kay, and she did impact my life. I didn't know a lot about a lot of things when I joined, and I know you probably think, really? But I came from a small town. You know, I worked construction with men, and I managed a lighting and appliance showroom, and I worked with contractors. It was just a very different life. And so when I got into Mary Kay, it was very, very different for me. So I went on my first Mary Kay event. I was a week in the company, and Mary Kay spoke on goal setting at my first career conference. I was a week old. And yeah, I don't know if you know this, but Mary Kay spoke on stage on goal setting more than any other topic. So at my first career conference, I heard her say, behind every achievement, large or small, lies a plan. If you really want to get things done, the sooner you learn how to plan, the better. She also said, too many people either don't have a goal in life or too easily lose sight of that goal. She who would walk the straightest path in life is the person who has a goal and refuses to be distracted from it. She's also the person who accomplishes the most. Far too many of us have no place to go and are getting there. A worthy life must have a worthy ambition and persistence, which won't allow our being detoured or deterred. So set a date, fix your mind firmly upon it, and let nothing detour you from your appointed goal. Now, again, I don't know about you ladies, but I didn't have a lot of training on goal setting before Mary Kay. So this was new information for me when I started. I took what I was learning and I did my best to apply it to my business. Mary Kay also spoke about visualizing a year filled with accomplishments and the realization of our goals. She taught us to map out our plan, including monthly, weekly, and daily steps, and to keep our mind filled with positive expectancy and to focus on our plan. She said by working towards our goal, we would see the progress made one step at a time. She said to remember that every big accomplishment is a result from a series of little ones. So by achieving our daily goals, we'd be working towards our year-long goals. She was such a wise woman, and I am so grateful that her teachings really are still available, to us through her books that she wrote and through her speeches that were recorded. And I just encourage you to study our founder and pass on her wisdom to your unit members. And I'm a big, big believer that you need to write down your goals. Statistics show that if your goal is written down and reviewed often, keyword reviewed often, there's a 90% chance of it being achieved. 90%. But if you don't write it down, the likelihood drops to less than 5%. Less than 5%. Isn't that staggering? How just the act of putting pen to paper makes all the difference. It's all about being confronted daily by that visual reminder. However, I believe the real challenge is not determining if you want the result, but if you're willing to accept the sacrifices required to achieve the goal. Do you want the lifestyle that comes with your pursuit? Do you want the hard work and daily process that comes before the exciting and glamorous outcome? I think it's easy to sit around and think what we could do or what we'd like to do. And I think it's an entirely different thing to accept the trade-offs that come with our goals. Many directors want to be a national sales director. However, few want to put in the work to make it happen. This brings us to my first insight. Goal setting is not only about choosing the reward that you want to enjoy, but also the cost that you are willing to pay. I'm going to say that again, so if you're taking notes, you can write that down. Goal setting is not only about choosing the rewards you want to enjoy, but also the cost that you're willing to pay. I want you to imagine a boat. Now, I kind of see things better with pictures. So your goals are like the rudder on the boat. They set the direction and determine where you go. If you commit to one goal, then the rudder stays put, and you continue moving forward. But if you flip-flop between goals, then the rudder moves all around, and it's easy to find yourself going all over the place. However, there is another part of the boat that is even more important than the rudder. It's the oars. If the rudder is your goal, then the oars are the process or the plan for achieving it. While the rudder determines your directions, it's the oars that determine your progress. I think this metaphor of the rudder and the oars helps really clarify the difference between plan and the goals. It's an important distinction that shows up everywhere in life. As a sales director, you may have a goal to build a trip-winning unit. So your system or your plan is X number of wholesale per month and X number of new team members. Then it's broken down to X number per week and X number per day. The goals are useful for setting the direction. The plan is great for actually making the progress. In fact, the primary benefit of having a goal is that it tells you what sort of plan you need to put in place. The plan itself is what actually achieves the result. It's the work, the plan of action that it takes to really achieve the goal. And I think this is where consultants get messed up. And I think sometimes if we spend more time on this with them, they would get it better. Because they set a goal and then they wonder why it doesn't happen. Well, the plan is never really established or evaluated or, looked at on a daily basis. But this brings us to our second key insight. Goals determine your direction. Plans determine your progress. However, you'll never get anywhere by just holding the rudder. You have to row. Now, as many of you know, my daughter is Kristen. And we were the 10th mother-daughter team in Mary Kay history. Now, she joined Mary Kay in 2007 and in 8 years became an NSD. I'm going to share with you what she did to accomplish that. Some of you know her story, some of you don't. But in the process, she accomplished a lot of her goals on the way. Now, having been in Mary Kay for 20 years and already an NSD when Kristen joined, I really understood this business. And I will tell you, we have a good relationship. She trusted me. She did. And I think a lot had to do with because we're just real close. I was single mom and my kids were with me a lot. She asked me what she could do to build her business strong and to do it fast. She needed to make money. She had a great job with John Maxwell, but she wasn't making good money, and she was living paycheck to paycheck, and that isn't a fun way, and you all know that. Now, you got to keep in mind that she was 5 years old when I started Mary Kay, so she really did grow up pink. And because she and her brother helped me in our Mary Kay business, she knew this business inside out and backwards too, and she knew this business worked, but she also knew it took work. And she did tell me she was willing to do whatever it took. Now, you have to remember, she was 25 years old, so she was a little headstrong that first month. So she was going to do it her way, and I said, well, I don't know if that will work. Maybe you shouldn't even do this business. That's a true statement. I did tell her that because she was going to do it without parties. I said, I don't know how you can build this business without a good, strong customer base, people that love the products. So she was going to prove me wrong that holding parties didn't work. And after the first month, she was on target for the car, and she realized that parties worked, and that's the end of the thing, and she did it. So her focus was holding parties to build a strong customer base so that she could eventually recruit from her customer base for her team to earn her car and to become a sales director. Now, her goals to start with was really that, to earn a car, because she knew she could sell her car, and then, that would be a good thing too, and that being more money in her pocket and all of those things. Well, she earned her first car in, I think it was 2 months, became a director in 4 months, and then became a senior director in 6 months, won her second car, and then her Cadillac in 12 months. And so her goals changed a lot that first month, and first year, and she was really figuring out how to do this business. But what we did talk about was by holding the parties, seeing the people, building the customer base, she could build her team, to build her unit, to build it strong, to find enough people to offspring. So that first year, she triple-starred. And you all know what that is. So she continued to do that every single year until she became a national, with the exception of 1 year. She was $2,000 short on wholesale for course sales. And I didn't give her the money. And she didn't have the money because she was single. And she double-starred. Now, maybe I should have. I just didn't, because she had always sold it before, and I thought there would be something she could gain from that. I don't know. Water in the bridge, that's where we are. But she's still triple-starring today, every single year. Her personal unit has done millions, 7 years in a row. And she's still doing national court sharing and sales. But a lot of this has come from this whole thing. I'm going to share with you. The sale came from the parties, but the party's intent was to find the new team members. The court as sharing was her main focus. If you have one main focus, and that's really what it was, that's where she grew her unit size, so she knew the unit club would come, because if you have X amount of people, she knew the numbers, And when you're offspringing directors, you look at it and you think, who's left? It's got to be you doing the work. I don't know. Have you ever looked at your unit stuff? Who's working? Well, if anybody, it's you. That's the difference. It's got to be you. You do more than anybody else. The nationals do it because they want it. So you're in the field. You're holding the parties. You're finding the people. You're recruiting, because as long as your personal team is huge, it doesn't matter when you offspring. You still have people to work with. Again, this business is not magical, but mathematical. So I'm just going to share with you these numbers. I'm going to go over them briefly, because I just want you to grasp this, and I'm sure you've seen this chart. But basically, her first year, they recruited 73. 54 were either her personals or her recruits that she recruited that year's recruit. 74% of her unit was hers, that she was responsible for recruiting. It wasn't her recruits that didn't count. If she wouldn't have personally recruited, she would have had 19 people join her unit. Looks like everybody else's unit in the American world. 2008, they recruited 108. 91 were either because of her or her personals. 80% of her unit. She would have had 17. 2009, 155. Now you have to remember, she's offspringing too during this time. 122 were hers, 79%. 33 would have been her count if she wouldn't have, versus 155. Think of that. The next year, 252. 169 were hers. Now the percentage goes down to 67%, because her unit's pretty big size right now. 83, she would have had 83 people join her team, or less. Because reason was less. We couldn't, when you think the recruit, it just became a nightmare to track. So we only tracked the recruit of her personal recruit, and then that other person. So it wasn't, and not, anyway, it's just how to track it. 2011, 293, 190 were hers, 65%. She would have had 103. 2012, 256, 166 were because of her, 65% of her unit. She would have had 90% or less. 2013, 341 new unit members. 222 were because of her. 65%. Her unit growth was because of her. Her unit would have recruited 119 or less. In 2014, when she became a national sales director, she recruited 368. Her goal that year was to recruit one person a day. She recruited 368. 246 were her personals that year, or her personals recruit. That they came in that year, 67%. Her unit would have had 122. If you look at those 8 years, she recruited a total of 1,846 recruits. 1,260 were from her personal recruiting. If she wouldn't have recruited, she would have had 586 or less. She would not be a national sales director today. Her focus, of course, of sharing, which everything else came from it. My thing is focused. Her in the field. Goal setting for results. That is a result that anybody can have. If you want to do it fast, that is my recommendation to you. She tracked how many faces and parties she did in a month, how many interviews she did, and how many said yes. To build and taking the responsibility personally. So, and she'll build internationally too, eventually. But right now she's wanting to build strong U.S. So, a little bit about goals. conclude here. I'm going to probably say it early. I'm going to conclude here. These are some thoughts, and some of you have heard me do this, and some of you haven't. Sometimes when you're in my position, like as a grandma here with you, God, you want to say, here's what I learned. And maybe just take something from this and have it benefit you, because, you know, when you're looking at things from the other side of the fence, I sometimes wish I would have had a mentor or somebody that would have really, I had Dolly, but Dolly was more retired. The Nationals at that time weren't working a lot. She helped me more in life, and I will be forever grateful because of that. And we are still very, very, very close because of that. But I needed a mentor in my business, and I didn't have one. And so anything I benefit to something, I'm grateful. So basically, this comes off on what I learned these 18 years with MK, and maybe you could take some business, find some business. First thing, I think, made the biggest impact and difference was my thinking at Mary Kay. It's always been, if I do the work, I will succeed. I believe that my positive thinking turned into a positive attitude, which turned into a positive action, which turned into positive results, which turned into a positive lifestyle for myself and for my family. I learned early that this business works when we work. I'm proud of my good work ethic. I was motivated to do daily disciplines, day in, day out. That book, coach, sell, and recruit. And that basically brings me to my second lesson. Number 2. Stick to those daily disciplines, and it will take you where you want to go. You know, the actions you take today will play out and pay out over time. Your results double and triple. It's like compound interest. But there's a catch. It takes time. Most people quit or stop because it takes too much time. Number 3, build a strong customer base by holding parties and facials consistent. I have 600 good customers at my peak. You know, I work to build what I call A, B, and C customers. My A customers bought everything. They were my skincare, supplements, color, and some body care, sun care, fragrances, things like that. They were great. My B customers were on the skincare, and my C customers usually bought color. I work to move my C customers to B customers and my B customers to A customers. Pretty simple. Number 4, recruit from your customer base. It just made total sense to me. My customers had been at a party or a facial, and they loved the products and they used them, and they had experienced my great customer service. I had a relationship with them. They saw me driving a free car, and they knew this business worked. They knew I was a single mom with 2 kids on this. So, you know, they knew it worked. So that's where my unit came from. Number 5, treat people right. Basically, I think you never know what they're going through, even if they don't treat you right. You know, Mary Kay said, all you send into the lives of others comes back into your own. If you give the very best you have in whatever you do, the best will come back to you. Number 6, attend every event. I know we can't do it physically here, but we can do it remotely. But career conference, seminar, leadership, and every NSD director retreat. You know, I do. Was it easy being a single woman raising 2 kids? Absolutely not. But I planned for these events. I think that's very important. I planned. And I arranged childcare. And I saved the money that it would cost to attend because I knew I would learn and I would grow by being there. Those that show up, go up. And I wanted to go up. Number 7, respect your senior director and your NSD. You know the saying, what goes around comes around. I believe people watch how you treat others, and you're teaching them how to treat you. It's kind of like kids, and grandkids. I think we're such an example. I just say, respect the position. Number 8, set goals and create a plan to reach your goals. Interesting, I'm speaking on goals today because I just think that was probably the biggest game changer for me, as I was a goal-setting fiend. I'm a strategic thinker, and I've always played the law of averages. I realized early on in my career that a tracked number grows, and, I always knew I played the law of average, and so I knew I had to make X amount of phone calls, get X amount of leads, all that stuff. I played all those. Also, keep in mind that you are building your accolades right now, and they are going to follow you your entire career. Number 9, I was willing to do the work to get the results. So, ladies, be willing to put the work into the plan of action. Number 10, your attitude does determine your altitude in this business. Ladies, you can do anything in this world that you want to do if you want to do it badly enough and you're willing to pay the price, but it takes work to have a positive attitude. And I will tell you, it really is important, the people you hang around. I tell you, evaluate your friends. There are some of them that you maybe need to remove yourself from their space. They're just not positive, and it's going to drain on you. It's really important to keep a positive attitude. Number 11, work to improve your leadership skills and your people and communication skills. I studied leadership. If you saw my office right now, I'm up here. I have an entire whole bookshelf of just leadership books. I don't think that was something that I was strong in to start with. And so I really worked on that. And as well as people and communication skills. I read books, I listened to CDs, I went to workshops, I studied the DISC so that I could understand the different behavioral styles, not to fix others, but so that I could understand them and adapt to them. Ladies, I think it's our job to grow, change, mature, and learn so that we can become better leaders. I think what else helped me was to pray for courage, wisdom, discernment, patience, love, and a servant's heart. You are a leader in Mary Kay, and God will entrust you with followers when you are faithful with a few. I'm going to repeat that. God will entrust you with followers when you're faithful with a few. Number 12, learn to be a good coach. I spoke on coaching not too long ago with you. Coaching is the art of asking good questions, listening intently, and then supporting the person to find their own answers. It is a skill that takes practice, but when you're in the people business like we are in Mary Kay, it's a great skill to develop. Number 13, become good at money management. You know, being single, I didn't have anybody to bail me out. I had to become really good at money management. I believe God will bless you with more when you can handle a little. Number 14, commit to being a woman of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. My word is my bond. People count on me. I don't want to let them down. And lastly, number 15, love your people. I really think this is what will make the biggest difference in your business. Success is something you attract by the person you become. I'm going to say that again. Success is something you attract by the person you become. You know, I've had an incredible journey in Mary Kay, and I love still being involved because of Kristen and as an emeritus and the company using me for a few things. But it is my prayer that in some way, big or small, that I've made a difference for you. So I want to thank you for today, for being here. I have a little granddaughter here that I am watching today. I had someone watch her so I could do this call for you. My little Willow, she's 3, and I'll watch Luke when he gets here from camp, a 3 and a 4-year-old, and I am blessed beyond measure. I'll have another little 2-year-old on Thursday, and I had to spend some time earlier this morning with my little 9-month-old twin granddaughters. One's crawling, one isn't. They were preemies, so they're getting going. It's a beautiful life that I have, and I'm grateful, so grateful for it. And I will tell you, ladies, it's worth the work. Do the work today to have the life that you want tomorrow. Thanks so much for being here with us. Bye for now.